Yep, I knew it was gonna be a problem when I left out going to the food bank on that Thursday in the morning. I was gonna do the morning food bank at 11 o'clock. One I left out about 11 o'clock to be there about 11:15, 11:30, the latest. So what happened was I I hooked up my trailer because I always run with a trailer to that food bank. And when I hooked up the trailer, guess what happened? I had an accident on with the trailer at the same spot I had fell before on Shoemaker by the railroad track. I was looking back at the trailer and I forgot about that high curve. When I hit that trailer, hit that high curve, it threw me off the bike. Is that what happened when you hauling a trailer? I was worried about whether the hitch was on good with the boat. I always have to check them boats because I want them boats breaking loose and the trailer running wild on me. So when the bike fell, it shorted out the controller. So I said, I'll be dog. And but the main thing, when I fell good. I rolled off the bike and I didn't hurt myself. So it could have been worse. I ain't have no stripes, no cuts, a little bruise, but no cuts. And just a little some stripes on my knee, but nothing serious. Nothing serious at all. So that was a running joke on that, that's for sure. Yep. But main thing, I made it through the process. And that's the second time I fell in that same spot there on Shoemaker by the railroad tracks, a little bit past St. Jean. And it's just ironic how that happened. So if I had to walk the bike home, I had to do the walk of shame. So the guy in the neighborhood see me walking the bike home. I switched out the other bike. So I had to hurry up and switch out to the other bike. My other bike, I had the front wheel drive. And this was the rear wheel drive bike. So I switched out the battery. And when I would open up the part to switch out the battery from the controller, I could see where the wires had caught on fire. So this lithium battery creates a lot of heat. And what I'm supposed to do is check it once a week. So I haven't been on my job. And it might cost me this controller. I'm going to check the wires later on and see can I tape them back up or rewire them and see if it still worked, that controller. Because I know when I tried to get it, once I got the bike up after I fell, because people had stopped and asked if it was all right. So it was nice to see that people was concerned enough to check on me instead of just driving by. So that was a nice thing to see. But when I looked up and I seen that I wasn't getting no power to the wheel, I was getting power to the throttle, but I wasn't getting no power to the wheel. That's why I knew something was wrong. So I had to walk it home. Then I tried to ride it home. Then the rear derailleur kept popping off the rear axle. So I said, this ain't gonna be my day. That's for sure. But the main thing, it was my day because when I fell, I was able to fall and get back up and not hurt myself. You have to swallow your pride. I made a bad decision. It was just gonna be a bad day. I knew that. Somehow I knew that because my timing was off a little bit. So I should have been paying the kids to pay more attention to the road. But when you're hauling a trailer, you got to do the road. And if you ain't got no cars in front, you always check and make sure that trailer is secure because you're riding with no insurance. You hit somebody, you're liable. The trailer breaks and loose, you're liable for that trailer. So I had to do the walk shame home with the trailer and the bike. And I tried to ride it home on Springfield. And that took a lot of energy out of me because I was in low gear. And with the trailer being heavy, you want to be closer to a granny gear than being that low gear. Because it's going to work you a lot harder because everything's dead weight now. The trailer dead weight and the motor's dead weight. And then it wasn't working good for me at all. But the main thing, I made it back home. I didn't get hurt. And I was able to hook up my other bike again. I was trying to save that for the winter, but it don't seem like that was going to happen. So I'm going to have to ride it until I get some extra money, then I'm going to buy me another one. I think I give me a 24 volt one, 250 watt motor or 350 watt motor, and give me a 24 volt battery. Because I've been having a lot of trouble getting them batteries online. That's another thing about, I've been trying to buy a battery all this summer. Here it is almost the end of summer in August. And I get a refund on one of them, and they did refund right away. The other refund, I got to go find out where it's at. But I shop on eBay. And I inspired about shopping on eBay is that if the dealer or the seller don't refund your money, supposed to came from the manufacturer on a PayPal account. I started not to hook up with that PayPal thing. That PayPal, you try to give you a discount if you use PayPal all the time on eBay. With that little 10% discount, if they gave me a 10% charge for transferring the money, I just lost out that $10. So that was a waste of time. So if I don't find it this week, I'm going to the other bank I got with this card. If it ain't on that card, then I'm going to call eBay and find out what's happening with the money, and they'll refund it and they'll trace it down. As long as you do it within a 6-month period of time. That's the catch for it too. I found that out the hard way. You got 6 months. If somebody do you wrong, they'll take care of it, no questions asked. They'll refund the money. That's why it's nice doing business on eBay. You got to know all the rules, though. That's the key. So needless to say, I didn't make it to the first food bank that Thursday because I had to come home and hook up the other bikes. I hooked the battery up, and I seen how them connections was burnt out a little bit. So I might have to make my business once a week to check the wiring on my bike and make sure that I don't have to rewire anything and make or replace some connections. A lot of times it be burnt out at the connection. So I'm riding it up. So I got a chance to ride it to the second food bank on Thursday. After this one normally run after 12 o'clock. Sometimes it runs a little early, but this time it normally runs after 12 o'clock. So I got there with nobody, but the truck wasn't there, which was good. Because I thought I had ran late for it, so sometimes it comes early. But then I knew that sooner or later this was going to happen, because they just came back. And people still crowding that door when they get their spot. So this time they was asked to wait outside instead of that sitting area on the inside. And they took their chairs with them and still crowded around the door a little bit. So I know what's going to happen next time. We're going to have to leave the chairs on the inside. The ladies didn't want them chairs on the inside. But once they get back, once the food get delivered and put on the tables and set up, they go right back to that spot they was at and crowd that door. And they don't bring their chairs with them. And I don't know why they don't do that. But they always worry about that little spot being first in line again. So I know the lady that runs the food bank, she said don't let them bring the chairs outside, but they was already outside with the chairs. So I know probably next week they're going to have people just waiting in their vehicles. Because they just didn't get it. The guys had been bringing the food in. They live in the houses. And if I was bringing the food in, I would complain too about having to go around people, and people act like they don't want to move. But they're trying to protect a spot, which is a big joke in itself. You pretty much get the same thing. You might get a few items extra, but is it worth that much? So that's what happened this Thursday. I knew that was going to happen sooner or later. I had to predict that. But they had a good long run holding down that spot, because they'd be there early sometime holding down the spot. So they figured they're entitled to be first. They go by senior citizens. So this time they went by senior citizens. And one young lady had went before, when they was going by senior citizens. The other guy wasn't really enforcing it. If you see a woman there with some kids, you wouldn't let them in. But they probably need the food a lot better than the senior citizens do. But you never know. But this time we had somebody had signed up earlier, and she was a streetwalker. And she had a miniskirt up on her butt, on her rear end, real short dress, but she got offended up in there because she said somebody had said something to her, and she forgot how the order of business was, and then she got loud and called the woman a bee in the church. So when she started disrespecting the church like that, and the lady was new, that's the first time I seen her there, she didn't know how it went, and then she talking about it, well, you in front of me, you supposed to be behind me. She really didn't know how it go. So once them two got into it, they had to ask her to leave. They had to tell her that she wasn't going to be served. So you might well leave, because if you hang around, you still ain't going to get served because of your bad behavior. You can start cussing and yelling and screaming at somebody. So she was being a little aggressive. Normally she don't be that aggressive. She the same one that came in and funked up the place, so they know her. And they know her probably before she was a streetwalker. But she's a streetwalker now. And that was the high drama part right there. When the streetwalker came in there and got into it, all she had to do was lay back, and then she would have been all right. But she, I guess she be a little anxious to get something to eat. You know, a lot of times they already know they ain't gonna cook the food. They gonna try to sell it for so they can get me hit. But it don't make no difference. You know, it's free food. It's gonna be thrown away anyway. So that's how the high drama went on this Thursday. It's high drama for me with the bike. You know, it's high drama at the Thursday food bank. They always seem to have some high drama, and they had to change things up so they can let people know that, you know, that if they had just gave that little inch away, give an inch away sometimes, give a person an inch. And you see people walking by with the carts unloading the truck. You know, don't be so close to the door. Give that little leeway up. But they couldn't do it, so it'd be interesting. The next Thursday I go up there to see what happens. But me and another guy, we were talking about it, how they can get stuck on stupid when it comes to protecting their spot and trying to be first in line. There's one brother, he was talking and trying to let people know that he was going to be right here and there. And that thing, no, he was in the way of the shopping cart. So we had to all let them know the shopping cart was coming through. So he went on the side of his truck because it upset him a little bit. And then he still got a line. He was still the first 10. Still wasn't a bit bad. I was the second 10. So it ain't no bit bad. You're going to get some food anyway. They had a lot of food that came in, especially almost a pallet of meat. So they had more meat than they gave away. They had more than enough. And, you know, so you can be satisfied with what you get because you're getting it for free. There ain't really nothing to complain about, but people did complain, and the high drama did proceed itself on that food bank. That's what it's good for. It's known as the Thursday High Drama Food Bank. That's for sure. So that's what we have. What's happening this week. We put this speaker studio on my Windows 10, so it should play out better than it did on my Windows 7. My Windows 7 also had caught a virus and it had been attacked. But I put it on my Windows 10 here, so I get my sound effects and all that stuff. And yeah, so we're gonna let you know it's time to be shutting it down. And we're gonna say adios amigo for now, and we're gonna check you later, alligator.